Hey everyone, Lindsay here. It's time for another Thrifty Thursday. Today's video is about repairs, redecorating, and remodeling. We have always been on somewhat of a tight budget, but we have found ways to fix up our house because we have to keep it livable, and I would like it to look somewhat nice. I don't want it to look trashy or awful when people come in. So here are some of the ways that we've made it work for us. I know that lately DIY has been a big thing lately. A lot of people are trying it. We've been doing it for a long time because of the fact that we just can't hire someone. It's too expensive. Now, we did hire somebody at one time, and he was a friend of ours, and he helped us with our bathroom remodel because of the fact that we weren't fully skilled in doing it all of ourselves, and it needed to be fully gutted. So anyway, so if you want to try to do it yourself, make sure you hone in on the skills that you have. At first would probably be a good idea to discuss what skills you have. Like if you're going to sit down with your spouse, you want to basically list all the skills that you have that are pretty good, you know, that you could do without too many mistakes. Then figure out what all you can accomplish with those skills. And if you're able to get the whole project done that you're wanting to do, great. And then I would also, after that, look into if you still need some other help, ask around to your family and your close friends and see who'd be willing to help you for maybe trade for dinner or, you know, babysitting or something. That's a good way to get help without having to pay out the money. And then maybe you might be able to get quite a bit done. We've gotten a lot of projects done by just utilizing our skills and skills of our family, and it's worked out great that way. We rarely had to ask for help from our friends. We usually got it done between us and my parents and my husband's parents. Next, while you're looking for things to remodel or redecorate with, or even repair, you want to look through the things you already have. Don't go out and buy something right away just because you don't feel like getting creative. By looking around your home and looking for items that you're really not using anymore, maybe something you threw in storage or in your attic, maybe you have some extra items, like we store things in our basement, extra stuff from projects. Maybe you have something you can already use. I've seen a lot of situations where people take an old piece of furniture and turn it into something for their bathroom, you know, a bathroom vanity or something like that. You can paint or replace drawer pulls or paint up a whole dresser. I did that with my daughter's dresser when we redid her room. It was just an old drab brown dresser that I believe we paid $20 for from someone. And we've had it for a long time. It was being used in one of the bedrooms, and I realized we weren't going to need it because we moved my boys into a bigger room with a bigger closet when we remodeled the basement. So they didn't need that extra dresser. So what I did was I sanded it down, I painted it white. It has a somewhat distressed look. I knew I'd have to make it look distressed because I had to work with what the dresser originally looked like. I couldn't really make it look like new, but she liked that. And then we just found a fabric that she liked, that I actually already had, and we covered the drawers, and then we repainted her drawer pulls, and that made a huge difference. You can take old artwork and make it new. So then when you've exhausted every resource within yourself and your home, you can then start looking elsewhere. But I wouldn't go buying brand new just yet. I start looking at thrift stores, consignment stores. I even check Habitat for Humanity. That's a really great place to go to find things for projects in your house, because a lot of the things can be new when you find them. They may be still be new. They may be something left over that a contractor donated, or somebody had left over from a remodeling project or whatever. And some of the things that you get used are still in good shape. They may just need to be cleaned up a little bit. They have some nice things that you can find there. I sometimes like to go to thrift stores or consignment stores and find just different craft stuff I can make into things, or something that a piece of furniture that I can bring home and just kind of revamp it and reuse it for something else. Or maybe it's already in a good shape and you can just throw it right in your house. There's nothing wrong with having something that looks a little bit vintage. It's cute if you have that kind of look in your house. Another thing is you could go to department stores or to home improvement stores, and if you're looking for items for your house, say a piece of furniture or an appliance, don't be afraid to look at the items that have the vanity defects or little blemishes. If it does not affect the function of the item, it shouldn't be that a problem. Maybe you find an oven and it has a little scratch on the side. Well, in my house that wouldn't matter because the sides of the oven aren't seen. Or even if it was a little scratch on top. Ours has a little tiny scratch on top, and it doesn't affect the function of the oven. And that's just where I rest my spoons most of the time. So when I'm in there cooking, I don't notice it. Or like with furniture, we wanted a piece that had multiple functions. We went and looked at a furniture store and went into their clearance room, and we found this ottoman that it's 4 sections in it for storage, and the top cushions can come up and flip over to make trays. Well, I thought that was a great deal, and it was marked down to final clearance. And I said, okay, we'll take that. And they actually said that for items like that, if they had more in stock at the warehouse, they would give us a brand new one that didn't have any blemishes on it for that clearance price. And that was a really great deal. I was fine with taking the one with the blemish on it, but they were going to give us a brand new one. So that worked out cool because all we had to do was wait till it came in and went and picked it up and saved on delivery. That's another thing. Don't pay for delivery if you have the ability to go pick it up yourself. That will save you a ton of money, because for the amount of gas you will spend to go pick up that item, it's actually less than delivery charges most times. The next thing I want to talk about is paint. For anyone who's on a very tight budget, or maybe you just don't want to spend a ton of money to redecorate, I strongly suggest painting. Painting will really change the look of a room. These 2 rooms here, my dining room and my living room, the living room used to be a dark brown. This room used to be a red on top and a beige on the bottom and a border in the middle. And it looks so different now that we've painted. And we actually used some decor we already had to put in the rooms. When we decided to paint, we realized that nothing was going to match for this room. This room, we had some blues and stuff in it already. So when we changed up the walls, we didn't have to change up a ton of the decor. I pulled out some old curtains I had been saving that matched with the room. The curtains in my dining room, I'll show you real quick. I bought those on sale, so no biggie. We actually didn't spend a ton of money. We kind of planned first before we painted to see, were we going to be able to manage buying all this new stuff for the room when we painted it. But the paint, we found the paint on sale, so that helped. We just waited for some paint to go on sale at one of our nearby home improvement stores. Couple gallons covered the wall. And then in the living room, because it was a dark brown, it took 2 coats of that paint and primer in one. Don't be afraid to shop around. When you find a color you like, just because you find a swatch at, say, a Lowe's doesn't mean you can't take it over to Menards and get that paint color, whether they have that paint line or not. Most stores can color match. So you can shop around and find a color you like at one store and go and buy it, at $5 less per gallon at another store. And another thing, don't be afraid to look at any colors that have been mixed incorrectly, that have been kept at the store and marked down. That it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. If there was something wrong with them, they wouldn't sell them. Some stores won't keep them out for customers to see. You can ask. They might be in the back of the store somewhere. And you might find a color that's really close to something that you were interested in. And, you know, sometimes you can make that work. I strongly suggest that if you think you're going to need more than what's in the container of the mismixed paint, that you buy more at the same time you're buying that paint so they can make sure it matches as perfectly as you can get it. Otherwise, if you get home and you realize you're going to need more paint, before you use up all that paint, put a little swatch on a piece of paper and keep it. That way if you run out, you can go back to the store and they'll color match it and get it as close as they can. That has worked wonders for us in the past. We've done that and it's been great. Saved us a lot of money. When making changes to your house, whether it be remodeling, repairs, redecorating, if you are not sure of what you are doing, you need to do some research. You can Google it. You can go on YouTube. There's tons of DIY videos on YouTube and how-to videos. I strongly suggest that you educate yourself, look at all your resources. Don't just wing it if you're stumped. And ask around too. Don't just go for it, because you could end up with a bigger mess that you end up having to spend more money to have someone else fix. You can also ask around at the home improvement stores or hardware stores. There should be knowledgeable staff employed at these stores that should know how to answer your questions. If they don't know it, they probably know somebody else who does. When I was a single parent, I learned how to fix things in my home. I had a home by the time I was 19. I owned my own home, and which means I didn't have a landlord that would take care of things for me. I had a neighbor who would help every once in a while, but I was pretty much on my own with things if I couldn't get my family to come and do it. So I educated myself by going to hardware stores and home improvement stores, and if they had some type of information or resource, I took advantage of it. And I didn't have a lot of time for this, but they do offer classes. There may be seminars for people that need to learn skills. Take advantage of them, especially if they're free or inexpensive. Go check them out. Last thing I want to add in here is try to repair whatever you can before looking into replacing. I'll give you a couple examples. My dad, he was always one to get rid of something before trying to fix it. We have since acquired a push lawnmower and a grill. We had them because my dad didn't want to take the time to try to fix them or ask for help fixing them, gave them to my husband and bought new ones, and then my husband fixed them both for less than $10. So therein lies the problem with some people. They spend money that is not necessary. You could have just spent a few bucks to fix something instead of spending hundreds to replace it. So think about that. That's one big way to save money. So those are my tips for being thrifty on repairs, remodeling, and redecorating on a budget. I hope that was helpful to some of you out there, and I hope you continue watching my videos. Have a great day.